My own advice to anybody who wants to go into science is basically to be driven by passion. Research is really something that has to drive you. You do it because you love it. Neural circuits embodies, in a sense, what the brain is, meaning a system of interacting parts. And this graduate program is devoted to the study of the brain in a series of scales that go from the molecular to the system of interacting circuits within a whole brain.
Each year we invite students to apply to the IMPRS for neural circuits. Not only master students but also bachelor students can apply to come to Frankfurt, the heart of Europe. We offer an educational program with classes on both modern topics and modern techniques in neuroscience, as well as in close collaboration with the Goethe Graduate Academy, we offer classes on transferable skills.
I like about the program that you get to know a lot of different graduate students from all the different neuroscience institutes here in Frankfurt that also do different kinds of work. Some do more computational neuroscience, others molecular neuroscience, and by this you get different views on topics.
The Frankfurt community in neuroscience is very large and very rich. It contains 4 Max Planck institutes, the Frankfurt Institute of Advanced Studies and the university, both on the main campus and at the medical school.
When a student starts, we offer rotations, so the student can decide in which labs he would like to stay for the first 6 to 9 months. After the fees proposal day, the student can decide in which lab he or she would like to stay for the remainder of the PhD studies.
I'm interested in investigating the neural circuits that underlie fear learning. For this I'm focusing on apical tuft dendrites in layer 1, and I'm interested in how a non-salient stimulus becomes salient during learning. And to investigate this, I'm using 2-photon calcium imaging in awake behaving mice.
Germany is definitely one of the best countries for scientists in the world. It will offer you very secure and relatively stable funding, and actually relatively very generous funding as well. And Frankfurt in particular is a very great place because it really is a hub for neuroscience in Europe. So during your rotations at IMPRS, you can actually choose from a very wide variety of research topics and interests and choose the one which best fits you.
During my PhD studies, I would like to understand how neurons can finely tune protein synthesis according to different stimuli for synaptic plasticity, that is the basis of learning and memory. I found very useful in this program the thesis advisory committee meetings that help you in the experimental design and interpretation across the PhD.
In my previous labs, I like to talk science with my supervisors, and of course I also wanted to know what are the people they consider to be good scientists. And several of the names that came up were actually of people working here at Frankfurt, which inspired a closer look. And what I found was a very, very nice research environment of several good institutions and talented people working together, which is a very nice atmosphere for a grad student.
And especially at the IMPRS for neural circuits, they take special care to have structured environments where you can actually have lunch with Nobel Prize winners, go to conferences and meet the scientists that you admire, and interact a lot with your current peers, right? Because your peers now, as a PhD student, your fellow PhD students, members of IMPRS, will be your colleagues and collaborators in the future. And it's this feeling of interaction, of family, that is very valued in the IMPRS for neural circuits, and that really made and is making my experience here such a pleasure.
I like the fact that we can rotate in different labs and learn a lot of different techniques and be more confident in the choice of the lab. I come from Italy, so at the beginning I was a bit scared to move in Germany, different language, different culture. But I have to say that now I really enjoy the challenge and I like really walk in the streets and feel the international environment.
We basically have faculty that represent most of the modern fields of neuroscience, going from the molecular to the cellular, to the system, to the cognitive, to the theoretical. In other words, the program encompasses all the different aspects of modern neuroscience.
So our lab works on the dopamine system. So this is 1 minute in the life of a dopamine neuron. And this is actually a very nice example cell. Right over here, you can actually see a burst, right, which is a transient increase in the firing rate. And right over here, you actually have a pause. So when the dopamine neuron stops firing. And these pauses in firing can actually decrease the dopamine content in the target region. And within this pattern of firing activity, this neuron actually encodes information, which in a freely moving, behaving animal will be determining how it learns from its experiences.
What I think I like most about Germany is that there's no defining trait which is generically true. It's a very heterogeneous culture here. So I think whoever you are and however you are, it's possible to lead a nice life here.
So Kinders, jetzt hier in die Ecke da. Okay, come on. And now you look into the camera. Ja, wunderbar.
You do it because you love it.